choose your side. You gotta choose your side. It's do or die. I said it's do or die. I said it's conflict in all areas, nigga. You choose the side. You could win or you could lose, nigga. It's do or die. Energy don't lie, it just testify for what they saying. I just look them deep into their eyes, going against the God in me. Now that's suicide. Higher self, higher level, higher wealth. To move like this, you gotta put your pride upon yourself. They say money is power, but knowledge way stronger.
Yeah, what you say is true. The Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous. Do you think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?
They say money is power, but knowledge way stronger. My soul pure gold, so I live way longer. My mind think righteous, yeah, my bloodline chosen. My energy is positive, words unspoken. I'm so illuminated, I shine brighter than Illuminati. Walking on water, now they really know I'm God body, gifted from birth. So the life I face is hard body. Had so much love in my heart, they had to apply pressure. Now I'm a fine diamond, yeah. Said I'm a fine diamond.
Shaolin Shadow Boxing and the Wu-Tang sword style.
No matter how hard they try, I found myself in divine timing. Now they follow what I say like my name Simon. Led the chosen ones to victory in divine timing. The time is near, the signs are clear. 144, activation is here. We rise in the vibration with no fear. Oh, the Thundercats we all hear. And now it just don't seem fair. It just don't seem fair.
Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's see what we got going on here. Welcome, 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 welcome. How's everybody doing on this lovely Friday evening? I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. I don't know what we got going on, but you know what? Struggle streaming. on, on Friday evening. Struggle streaming on Friday evening. Oh boy, I got a good one for you tonight. Yep, this is episode, what number? 16. Yeah, you're tuning in live to Let's Talk with your girl, Jazzy Wanda. Another powerful episode. Episode 16, rolling right on along. You know, today is a powerful episode for me for what we got going on in the world today, and especially Florida. Woo! The power of choice. I had to come at it, but see, I'm not going to touch what the whole hoopla is about. But I'm going to talk about the power of choice because everybody has a right to choose. That's right. So today is a powerful episode. It's titled "The Power of Choice." You have a right to choose. You have the right to decide, the right to think, and guess what? The right to believe however and whatever deems feasible for you and your loved ones. That's right. You have the right to choose. Yeah, that's a real powerful one because I'm not sure if a lot of people realize that you have choices in life. You have a multitude of choices in life. But you know, growing up, let me talk about me for a little bit. Growing up, they tried to tell me who I should be, but guess what? I chose. I made the choice. And I chose the right to be who I am today. I am that I am. Yo, no, that's my favorite saying. I am that I am. And the greater God lives inside of me. I am that I am. So I know who I am today. And I choose and chose who I am today. I choose faith. I choose freedom. And y'all better know it. Most important, I choose me. This is the power of choice. Woo! Having the ability to choose. And you know what? I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. See, everyone was born with the right to choose. But in my opinion, let me give you my opinion. That right to choose was stifled. It was stifled by our parents, by our teachers, and anyone that had authority over us. That's deep. Hear me out. Shutting us off, if you will. Shutting us off the power and the ability to make and to learn how to make decisions for ourselves, let alone critical thinking. See, I remember when I was a child, I had to obey. I had to obey or else. How about you? You had to do whatever it is they told you to do. Do as I say, not as I do. I know a lot of you remember that one. Do as I say, not as I do. But we were stifled. See, in the part that I remember so clearly about being a child and being able to have the right to choose was that if they cooked a certain thing and I didn't like it and they knew I didn't like it, why make me eat it? Give me a choice. Allow me the right to have a choice. Well, Mom, if you're cooking that today, can you give me something else? I know I did it with mine. I did it with mine because I didn't like the fact that I didn't have the choice to eat something different. I had to eat something put on the table that I didn't like. To me, that's startling and harming to a young child, making them eat something they don't like. Like, we have to have that much control over our children that if we realize and learn that they don't like a thing, we make them eat it. That's a choice to be cruel, if you ask me. So, as children, we had to obey. And I really do believe this is where rebellion sets in for a child, because as a child, you're made to do certain things that maybe you don't feel good. Maybe you don't want to do it. Maybe you got a better idea on how to do it. But because we're not allowed to, as a child, to give input through the ability of our mind to choose, we start rebellion. Or we start doing something else that we feel like it would be better done this way. Or I'm just going to do what I want to do because I don't want to do that and you're not hearing me out anyway. So I honestly believe that's where the spirit of rebellion kind of steps in, the not allowing a child to have the power or the ability to choose. See, as a human being, grown or child, we have a mind of our own. See, as for the child, their mind should be trained to think and to make decisions based off of positive choices given to them, shown to them on how to choose from the truth. We know much of that through the years of the misinformation and the deceptiveness that has been strewed across the land. But child should have the opportunity to be able to learn. They should be trained, should be taught the ability to choose. Because we was all given the gift of choice through the power of choice. See, because as you grow into adulthood, it's critical to be able to choose, to make decisions, so that if need be, you can disagree to agree respectfully. But if you don't have any skill set in making choices on how to agree to disagree, disagree to agree respectfully, hey, you run into problems because you have no skill set on how to choose or how to work through the choice of somebody else's choice. Or, as I said, okay, they put it out here like this. You don't agree, but you could disagree to agree, but you don't know that skill set because you wasn't trained as a child. Well, for me, I for sure didn't always agree. I didn't always agree in what I was told or asked to do. Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not. I didn't always agree, you know, in what I was asked or told to do. I had a mind that always questioned. I always questioned. I always believed that given the opportunity to choose, I could choose a better way or I could give you a better outcome. Just let me, because I was, uh, but how do you want to call it? I was one of those kids that was very inquisitive, very, outgoing, very knowledgeable, very, very, very outgoing, had a mind of my own, and, understood that and knew that at a very young age. So as I got older, I began to learn that life had taught me some incorrect, some misleading, deceptive info and beliefs which affected my choices. What? Yeah. That if the information is incorrect, it'll affect you in such a way that your choices will be narrowed, or if you will be powerless. That's right, because if you're making choices off of information that is deceptive, that is misinformed, that is incorrect, then your choices is going to be based off of that information. And in my opinion, they're powerless and they're narrow because it's information that is incorrect. Because how could it be any power in a choice that's deceptive? based off of deceptive information. It's a wonder that many, allegedly, some, allegedly, back to many, allegedly, are powerless. See, once I began to start thinking outside of the narrow minded amount of choices that life had bound me by, you know, the deception and the misinformation, I began to learn the truth about life. See, because once you figure out that you've been lied to, misinformed, allegedly, I don't really like to use the word lied to. I absolutely do not like to use the word lied to, but misinformed or deceived. Once I begin to learn the truth about life, and by learning the truth, I realized I had more power in the choices, more power than I could ever imagine. Just by truth, just truth alone. See, misinformation held me to a false standard. Misinformation, deceptiveness holds us to a false standard. Let's talk about it. The food. Let's talk about the health system, the food. For years, eating in places. That's why I don't eat at fast food places anymore. Little did I know the harm that it was doing to my body, allegedly. No, I knew what it was doing to my body. Maybe allegedly to your body, but to my body, the harm that it was doing. And then the what is it? The canned foods, the preservatives, the amount of salt. But the way things were labeled back then, and maybe they still are, you believe that that stuff is good for you, that it's healthy for you. They don't put on the front line fresh vegetables, maybe, or some frozen vegetables are better than canned goods. No, they make the canned goods cheaper than the frozen or the fresh vegetables. So you believe, so you think, and so you're being deceived by what you're putting in your body. And then you wind up with all these illnesses and diagnoses, and not all doctors, allegedly, not all doctors. But is it about treating to get well? Or is it about treating to just being able to keep pumping medicine in you? You know, the amount of deceptiveness and misinformation in our food and in our health system is unbelievable. And see, people are powerless through choices when they don't realize that we're being living in a misinformation deceptive system or world, if you will. They're not going to tell you that food is a healer. They're not going to give you that choice. They'd rather give you 10 medications with side effects that makes no kind of sense whatsoever. Suicidal side effects. What is it? Diarrhea side effects. Depression side effects. Who wants to take something that has all of these crazy side effects? But the deceptive part about it is they don't tell you that. They started just lately here telling you that on the news. Or I mean, yeah, when they pushing an advertisement on a medication, they'll start telling you what the side effects is. And if you smart, you make a choice. Now I gotta be something else. Gotta be something else I can take than to take that. But they'll deceive you. They'll give you one pill that creates a problem for you to need another pill that creates another problem that needs another pill. And you sitting up in here pumping all these drugs in yourself. And you're not getting no better. You're getting sicker, allegedly. But the choice to follow through and believe what they telling you, you have to do your own work. And that's the part where I'm getting to deprogramming myself. Boy, I'm telling you, misinformation will hold you to a false standard. You believe you good, you believe you eating right, you believe it's okay to eat in these places until you start finding out the truth, till the truth starts being exposed. I can't believe half of the fast food places, some of the stuff that is being said about these things. I'm probably a good 7 years, 5, 7 years, maybe even more than that, off not eating what do you want to call it? Canned goods, eating fresh produce, eating grass-fed beef, organic as I could believe it's organic. And the sad part about eating healthy is now, with them tapping into listening to your conversations allegedly on your phones or whatever they doing, it's advertisement of organic food. No good. This is no good. I'm like, this is crazy. I remember my choice of lettuce was romaine lettuce. I got big on romaine lettuce. I stopped eating the head lettuce. The head lettuce wasn't doing me like it was doing me over the years. I mean, when the four kings was in the house, it was a different story. But then as the house, they start moving on in life, I don't need no whole big old head of lettuce. So I started liking the romaine lettuce. Next thing I know, romaine lettuce was being tampered with wasn't no good. Everything that I talk about that I eat or I like, I'll see some advertise. I'm like, this is crazy. And it's the honest part and the good part. It's never the choice of the brand that I use, but the fact of the matter is that it be tampered with or it's recalled. I mean, I think there's a multitude of us living under, have lived, or living under false standards by the misinformation and deceptive information that we have been taught. Talking about school, oh man, that's a whole nother ball game. Talking about school, the stuff that we were learned, the things that we were taught, the lies that we were programmed to believe. We know good and well, and no Columbus discovered America, but that's the stuff they teaching you. That's the stuff they teaching us. You better off homeschooling your child if you can. At least you'll know what they're learning, and you teach them what they need to learn to be a productive citizen in the world. Oh man, choices. But like I said, you get to a place where you have to start deprogramming yourself. I had to start deprogramming myself. It was the best choice I could ever choose. See, growing up, I didn't know any better. No, I didn't know any better. And you don't know any better. If what your family and your teachers and the preachers and the doctors, what they tell you, you often think it to be true. We live in a world allegedly full of deception. For the choice to make is to deprogram yourself. I don't think they ever thought for a time in a minute that the internet was going to do what the internet is doing. You just have to make sure your sources are good, because all sources of information is just deceptive as what they taught you in school, allegedly. See, as I continue to program myself and grow, I found that most of the information wasn't worth 2 cents that I had been stored in my mind and in my head and in my heart. I had to choose, and I still do to this day, to dig and to research. And as I dug and as I dig to research, I open up a portal to choose for myself. I open up a greater portal of choices for myself. The power of choice becomes the real power. It becomes the real power it was destined to hold. Once you stumble across the truth, you begin to navigate your choices to the standard that benefits you and your family. That's right. Once you come across the truth, you can begin to navigate your choices that benefits you and your family, regardless of what anybody thinks or says. When you come into the full knowledge of the truth, of the understanding what the truth is to you, then you have a right. You have a greater portal of choices because they're coming from truth. And then when you have that ability in such a way, it appears as if it's rebellion. No, that's the tapes we were brainwashed to believe that if we go against the norm, it's rebellion. No, it's not rebellion. It's doing and using the power of choice to do what's best for you and your family. All I can say is this: wake out your sleep and your slumber. We have been misinformed over the years and still being misinformed. That's the sad part about it. We still being misinformed. You know, the media. Come on. And the sad part about the media is that I don't believe they have any choice. That's their job, and their job is to tell us what they're being told to tell us. And if they don't tell us what they're told to tell us, then their choice to tell us anything different will make them lose their job. We've seen it. We've seen it with a few newscasters. So do due diligence for yourself. Do due diligence for yourself. Like I said, use that internet and the resources that hold information. There's a book that some of this information that's coming out now, I read it about how many years ago, if I'll be fair to say. Maybe 10 years ago. It's called the flower of life, I believe it is. Not the power of life, the flower of life, or the tree of life, or the tree of life. It's either the flower of life or the tree of life, and it holds some real deep. Might have been the tree of life, deep things about what's transpiring now, what has transpired back in the day, and woo, okay. There's a lot of good resources, a lot of good books that will give you some great information that will uh, 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 guide you away from the misinformation, will show you the deception in the misinformation that you have been given throughout the years. Yeah. But of the greatest choice I hold sacred today is the choice to walk away. That's right. Walk away from the misinformation and the deceptiveness. Just turn from it. Walk. You don't have to believe anymore. It's called cognitive dissonance. People, I don't care. The truth could smack them in the face and they still, oh no, they're going to believe the foolishness. They're going to believe the misinformation and they're going to believe the deceptiveness because that's just how it is. They're stuck in believing the lies as truth, which, in my opinion, then bounds them on the ability to make decisions that is beneficial for their lives, that keeps them stuck, not prosperous, not able to be prosperous, believing, I'm just going to say it, believing the lies. But that's the best thing I could have done is to walk away, make the choice to turn away from that which doesn't align with my truth, with my belief system. That's what you got to do. You got to make a choice. If it don't align with your truth or your belief system, let it go. Choose to walk away, turn from it. That's one of the hardest things to do, especially your belief system. When you find out some of this stuff in your belief is what it is not what it is, it'll break you. It'll break you for a moment in a time. And I don't mean break you, break you, break you, break you. It will break you. It'll break you. And you'll get over it, but you'll be like, what? You know, like what? Oh my. Like you really can't believe some of the lies that come out of some of the beliefs, some of the lies that they have told us over the years. But you gotta do your homework. You you gotta deprogram your mind. You gotta deprogram your mind. That is what you have to do. Absolutely. You gotta deprogram your mind. And if it, like I said, doesn't align with your truth and with your belief system, you gotta choose to rise. You gotta choose to rise above. You gotta choose to rise above. Mm-mm. You cannot stay stuck making choices from a deceptive place or a deceptive mindset. You know, and lo and behold, you have to choose to rise with the greatest gift that God gave you. And believe it or not, in the midst of the deception, in the midst of the misinformation, that greatest gift is the power of choice. Yeah, it's the power of choice. To believe or not to believe, you know. Who would ever think that a nation or that a world would deceive its people in a world that holds and it says, in God we trust. In God we trust, but the people we're going to deceive, allegedly. That part. Huh? It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any kind of sense. And it's a wonder, it's a whirlwind about belief systems. And that's a whole nother that's a whole nother one to tackle with, because there's a multitude of religions that are supposedly based off a relationship with God, and that's crazy. Because we know allegedly religion is man-made. It is definitely not of God. It's what man put together to control. But that's your choice to be a part of whatever you choose to be a part of. And if you choose to be controlled by, whatever it is that you choose to be controlled by pertaining to God, then that's your choice. That's your choice. That's your choice. I don't know how much power is in the choice of coming to the knowledge of understanding and knowing that religion is not of God, but is man made. But choosing to stick and stay there. That's that cognitive dissonance. Knowing the truth, but willing to continue to believe the lie. See, the power of choice isn't just freedom, you know. It really isn't. It's a sacred power. It's a sacred power that you should take highly, that you should reverence, that the power of your choice can mm, elevate, can do for you that which, when deceived and misinformed, you couldn't do for yourself. I believe that the power of choice, and even in the belief system, is that, when you deprogram yourself and you start realizing how much non-truths that's out there and that they tried to instill in us, and that was instilled in you, the choice and the fight to come up out of it is to rise, is to rise above the deceit, the dishonesty. I mean, there's so many things I could say, but then again, there's so many things that people just really still believe this stuff. I had a conversation with a guy on the phone, and he said he was being, what's the word he used? Was it program? He didn't say born again. He didn't say born again. So I know that's not what he said. I want to get it right the way he said what he said. But it's almost like he was recovering from being a Catholic. And he shared some of the misinformation that he came to the full knowledge and understanding of that that's not what he should be doing. And that's what it is. He almost might as well say he was born again Catholic, but that's not the word he used. It's almost like recovering. I believe he said recovering, like if a recovering, addict. That's crazy. How the norm of a world or a government believes that it's okay to spew misinformation and deceit, dishonesty to its people, and wanting its people to believe it. That's the crazy part. And hey, guess what? I believed at one point. I believed. One point, I was glued to the news. Growing up, coming up. Oh, I had to watch the news until I realized there wasn't nothing good about it, nothing positive about it, and that they did not wasn't factual or telling the truth. They only gave us what they could give us from what they were told to give us. Man, the power is in your hands to make choices that's contrary to the misinformation and the lies. And if you're one of the ones that want to stay stuck in the lies and the deceit, then that's your choice. So be it. More power to you. More power to you. I just say it's narrow-minded choices because they deceit. They're not truth. I believe that people are making choices to wake up out of their slumber and out of their sleep. I believe that people are elevating into this fourth and fifth dimension. You should be in the fifth dimension by now. You absolutely should be in the fifth dimension by now. Excuse me, I knew my earplug wasn't going to last. 1 second.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You gotta choose your side. You gotta choose your side. It's do or die. Uh-huh. I said it's do or die. I said it's conflict in all areas, nigga. You choose the side. You could win or you could lose, nigga. It's do or die. Energy don't lie. It just.
I'm back. I'm back. I had to do my little, you know, take a great stand and change out my earpiece. But yeah, man, life life affords you the power to choose. Choose what's best for you and your family. Start seeking out the truth because the internet isn't playing and it is exposing a lot of the misinformation. And not for nothing. I'm not going to say that the internet is just like the news because a lot of these people a lot of these people that are on these social media sites, what do they have to lose? They don't have anything to lose about telling their truths. They ain't got no boss telling them this is the narrative that you're gonna put out there. This is what we want the people to know and to believe. No, they're digging up the truths and they coming forth, and there's no filter and no shame and no ability to stop them from coming forth with the truth. These platforms is allowing the truth to be told So help you. And that's the power of choice. It isn't just a freedom, it's a sacred power. So you should choose to want to know the truth about life, about things, about the beliefs that you have held so dearly to you that may or may not be the truth. And based off of them not being the truth, you are making decisions. One thing, choice is the first act of freedom. That's right. Before you speak, you make a choice about what you about to say. Before you walk, you make a choice whether you want to walk, whether you want to run, whether you're going to go across the street, whether you want to drive. But before you walk, you make a choice. And before you believe, so before you speak, before you walk, and before you believe, guess what? You choose. You choose. You make a choice out of what it is you're going to say, where you're going to walk to, and my whole, what you believe in. See, our ancestors fought for the right to choose. That's right. Throughout the years, people fought for the right to choose where to live, who to love, and how to worship. And we know one of the biggest things was woman fought for women's rights. And boy, oh boy, that's a whole nother story. And there's a lot of truth in that about women's rights because they should have never been taken from the beginning. But that's a whole nother episode. And so, since our ancestors fought for the right for us to choose where to live, how to love, how to worship, it's now time for us that we carry that torch. See, I remember when I chose to walk away, what I chose to walk away from what was expected of me. You know, you got to let people choose, have a choice to be what it is that they desire to be. You know, I know I was told to stay in my lane. I told them God built me a highway. So, choosing your own path is sacred. It is absolutely sacred. Choosing your own path is sacred. It behooves me how some of these parents, because they're paying for the college and they're paying for whatever they paying for, that they believe they have a right to choose for their child what they should be. No, no. Some of these parents want to live through the child, choose to try to live out the dream that they couldn't fulfill through their child. No. Allow people to choose their own path. Allow your child to choose its own path. It's not rebellion when a person chooses to choose their own path. It's revelation. Yes, revelation. And then there's the faith that I talked about. We stumble across faith in life because it isn't inherited. It's something that you choose. You don't wake up just believing. I know I didn't wake up just believing. I wrestled. I questioned. I doubted. I made fun of. I didn't believe. But then one day, as truth, to whatever degree of truth that held me enough accountable, I chose to believe in a God, in a God who met me in my detour, in one of my detours. One of my situations and circumstances where life was, I was ready to throw in the towel and give up. I don't know what it is you believe in and what you choose to believe in and how you choose to call God. Whether you say Yeshua, whether you say Jehovah, whether you say Elohim, whether you say Yahshua, whatever you choose, it's your right to choose. But in your belief system, you got there because he found you. It found you in the detour. Most often in the detriment of the situation and circumstance that's going on in your life, so much so that you need a higher power or a higher source or the most high, if you will, to get you out of it. To only for me to come to realize that the God that I chose to serve, that I chose to serve, I am that I am, is the greater God within inside of me. Believe how you choose. Allow others the power of choice to believe how they choose. I don't always believe this way, but as truth unfolded and the veil and the scales came falling off, I am that I am is within inside of me, the greater me that I had to learn that as God loves me, I was taught how to love myself and know why I'm going here, but that's real. That's the choice and real for me. And along finding this God, I chose to believe in grace that covered me when nothing else would or nothing else could. You have the ability and the power to recognize that, lo and behold, whatever you've been through, whatever you're going through, it is grace that covered you when nothing else could. And I say this to say, I honor anyone's right to believe differently, anyone's right to believe, to choose to believe how they choose to believe in whatever it is they choose to believe in, because belief is personal. It's personal and it's powerful. And you know what? It's yours to define. So don't let nobody define Your belief in your relationship, whatever it is that's greater than you, within yourself, outside of yourself, however you choose to believe it. Learn, research, so that you can make the best choices in your belief system, about your belief system, coming from your belief system, of the mindset of the greater you that's beneficial to you and to your family, because it's yours to define. Let me say this: walking away, and I'm going to say it loud and clear, walking away is not failure. No, no. You got to walk away from whatever don't benefit you, whatever don't float your boat, whatever is not good for you, whatever is not good for you and your family. So be it religion, so be it a relationship, a bad relationship, so be it a job that ain't working, they ain't respecting you, whatever the case may be. Walking away is not a failure. It's choosing peace. That's what it is. It's choosing peace over performance. See, I walked away from relationships that drained me. Oh yeah, that part. That part.
That part.
I didn't stay too long. Once I realizing that it was a one-sided or lopsided or whatever sided that you want to call it, I got out of there. I got out of there. I got out of some religions that I knew good and well. Not the God that has been good to me wasn't in none of that. Yeah, y'all allegedly don't go there. Don't go there, Wanda. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. But some of that stuff, the God, the loving God that I serve, that I know, ain't in half of that stuff. I've walked away from some religions. Y'all know the one religion where the man had the people drink the Kool-Aid and off themselves. What kind of religion is that? What God ain't wasn't in that. That's that cultic foolishness. You got to be so careful because it's a thin line between religion, church, cults, gangs. Let's not go there. Allegedly, but you got to walk away from what don't benefit you. I'm sorry. You have a right to choose to walk away and to walk away from systems that silence you or try to silence you. Oh, 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 oh,
That
oh.
part.
Uh-uh. There's no silence in this thing here. You know, you got to walk away from roles that try to box you in. No, God ain't in the box. You ain't in the box. And you don't have to be in the box. Spread your wings and fly, baby, fly. One thing for certain and two things for sure. In your choices that you make moving forward, every step of the way, guess what, is a step toward healing. You have the right to say if something no longer serves you. You have the right to let it be, let it go. That's not quitting. That's wisdom. Remember, there's power in every choice you choose. So choose wisely. Stop allowing misinformation. Stop allowing deceitful information. You know, the lies that we've been told over the years. The food that's no good for us. The health system. that allegedly doesn't have your health in the best interest. And that's not all doctors. There's some great doctors that have to fight past the oath that they took to do some of the stuff that they expect them to do to the people. I'm grateful for the doctors that came past that saved me from some of the situations and circumstances that I have been in. I'm grateful for the ones that were in the operating room at the time that I passed through their operating table. But I know some, and I've come through some that don't mean me well to heal, allegedly, but want to keep pushing their medication on you, allegedly. I always say that, I'm going to say it, doctors are the biggest drug dealers, pushers in the world. They just have a license to do it. And the more they scripts they write and they push, the more the kickback that it is that they get. Y'all know, y'all know. I know they pretty upset right about now about one of the situations on the table now. A lot of money gonna be lost behind that because people have a right and the power of choice to choose. Choose wisely. Deprogram your mind from the deceit and the lies that you have been told. And if you're comfortable in staying stuck in the program, so be it. That's your choice. You have a choice to stay there. I'm going to continue to elevate in the dimensions as long as I'm here. And my right and my power of choice, because God has given every last one of us the power to choose. Choose ye this day if you're going to believe the truth. Hey, you're tuning in to your girl. Let's talk with Jazzy Wanda. I'll be back Sunday night with another good one. Stay tuned and be blessed. Until next time.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You gotta choose your side. You gotta choose your side. It's do.
And remember, you are destined for greatness. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and make moves to better yourself.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You gotta choose your side. You gotta choose your side. It's do or die. Uh-huh. I said it's do or die. Yeah. I said it's conflict in all areas, nigga. You choose the side. You could win or you could lose, nigga. It's do or die. Energy don't lie, it just testify for what they saying. I just look them deep into their eyes, going against the God in me. Now that's suicide. Higher self, higher level, higher wealth. To move like this, you gotta put your pride upon yourself. They say money is power, but knowledge way stronger.
If what you say is true, the Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous. Do you think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?
They say money is power, but knowledge way stronger. My soul pure gold, so I live way longer. My mind think righteous, yeah, my bloodline chosen. My energy is positive, words unspoken, I'm so illuminated. I shine brighter than Illuminati. Walking on water, now they really know I'm God body. Gifted from birth, so the life I face is hard body. Had so much love in my heart, they had to apply pressure. Now I'm a fine diamond, yeah, said I'm a fine diamond.
Shaolin shadow boxing and the Wu-Tang sword
matter how hard they try, I found myself in divine timing. Now they follow what I say like my name Simon. Led the chosen ones to victory in divine timing. The time is near, the signs are clear. 144, activation is here. We rise in the vibration with no fear. Oh, the Thundercats we all hear, and now it just don't seem fair.